My lovely, lovely, wonderful, beautiful, handsome people. A pleasant afternoon to you. All right, I'm going to read this here. I see something here that kind of sparked my interest. And it says, treating with the ugly Jamaican. And I'm seeing something in a little box called RESPECT. Let us see what it is talking about. We see them here, we see them there. We see them everywhere on the streets, byways, highways, in homes, educational institutions, churches, parliament, law enforcement, at the workplace, sporting events, entertainment events, funerals, and on public transportation. They are in just about every nook and cranny. They are loud, quarrelsome, rambunctious, angry, intolerant, feisty, self-centered, crude, rude, in your face, crass, unpatriotic, and indisciplined. And who is this rough beast, this rogue human being? It is the ugly Jamaican. And no, this is not a beauty contest, as the ugliness being referred to here has nothing to do with physical features, but it has everything to do with attitude, demeanor, personality, character, and social behavior. How we relate to one another. Several years ago, former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson saw the need to tackle this issue by introducing a values and attitudes campaign. He was ridiculed, and though it gained some traction, it was not as successful as it could have been. At another time, another former Prime Minister Edward Seaga invited me to chair a committee comprising a number of eminent and well-meaning Jamaicans that would see the introduction of character education in the island's educational system. Unfortunately for him and that idea, whose time had come, he was never re-elected to office, and so his revolutionary concept bit the dust. Where it says another one bites the dust. In all of this, one of my greatest disappointments as a concerned Jamaican citizen is that Prime Minister Andrew Holness has so far not seen it fit to resurrect Seaga's idea. Even as the nation continues to face serious issues with respect to its social capital. In this vein, his decision to add peace to the national security portfolio is but a feeble and half-hearted attempt at tackling this issue, which has reached crisis proportions. It has been said that the school is a microcosm of the society, and in recent times, we have been subject to stark reminders as bullying, physical altercations, and even murder have blotted the education landscape. In the meantime, domestic violence has become as perennial as grass, and Jamaicans' inhumanity to one another remains rampant, even though this murder rate has been going down, perhaps giving us a false sense of peace and safety, and we must be wary and leery, I would say too, how we treat with the dramatic rise in police killings, as the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth syndrome may well be sending the wrong signal to an already very violent society. All right, I'm going to pause here before I continue. I would not necessarily put a blame on the current Prime Minister where this is concerned. To be very honest with you, I don't know, there is something that is going on in which for me, he probably would need to expand the team. And I'm not talking about expand the membership in terms of parliament, in terms of having sub-bodies, you know, not somebody, sub-SUB dash bodies, where you have people who are really, you know, people with clout, people with influence, people with integrity who can push the initiatives of the former prime ministers from both sides. You're going to have that. To be honest with you, sometimes we're not necessarily given the grace for everything, you know, because, you know, he has been lambasted in the media for a while. He has to be defending himself as it relates to misinformation and disinformation, and then talking about the crime and violence, being here to help, because I mean, with the advent, remember in the days of the Honorable P.J. Patterson, as well as the Honorable Edward Siaga, we never had social media and AI and technology like this. This is a quantum era. You know, it's totally different from then. They would have had more leverage and space and time, in a sense, to deal with a lot of these initiatives than even now. He would need to build it out and get other teams to take it on. He himself cannot do that. He with his brain, I don't know how his brain would burst into flames. So I don't know if I would agree with the person when the person has held him kind of accountable for this, you know, because they're trying in their own way and because they're dealing with crime, you know. So he would have to build it out and get other bodies to deal with that. That is what I would say, you know. And it doesn't mean that he's not thinking about it. There's nothing in the pipeline, you know, where that is concerned. So I had to pause to speak to that. You know, at the very recent 30th anniversary Thanksgiving church service of the Tourism Product Development Company, TPD Co., tourism minister and one of Jamaica's most senior parliamentarians, Edmund Bartlett, in his address noted that Jamaica's current social challenges are rooted in gradual departure from strong moral foundations and the diminished influence of the church as a guiding force in the national life, which is true. So the days of Mr. Siaga and Mr. Patterson, the church still had strong influence. People still believed in the principles and the auspices of the Bible. They don't now. They don't now. If you hear how people try to thrash and speak about God and speak about I remember back in the day, people had so much reverence for pastors. And the way how I hear people speak about them now, it is unbelievable. And I'm not talking youngsters necessarily. No, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm talking about older people who would come from that era. Yes, it's a travesty of justice. Right, so this, don't put that on the current Prime Minister. The man can only do so much and no more. I don't know. It's not a monolithic thing. You know, he has to, as I said, you know, and it requires the cooperation of everyone. He's just but a number as well. Significantly, he reportedly stated that while development has brought change, questions must be asked about its impact on Jamaica's moral fabric. He pointed to ongoing national challenges. National challenges, including maintaining social and public order and strengthening interpersonal relationships as evidence of the need for renewed focus on core values such as respect. There is a struggle today to ensure respect. And you know, one of the problems too, let me slightly digress. I find that in Jamaica, unless you have some clout, influence, or money, people do not respect you. If you're not in management or leadership, they have total disrespect for you. You could be the most wonderful human being on the planet. If they realize, if they think that you have no use for them, you are of no use to them, I should say. Let me tell you, they disrespect you to the core, especially in places of employment. They have no respect for you if you're not in management, if you don't have clout, influence, or money. So this, I don't even think of calling the Prime Minister into this one. It's a problem from generations prior. You know? There is a struggle today to ensure respect, he said. That one key word has been a part of our culture forever. These words coming from Minister Bartlett have a bittersweet irony to them, as the country, led by his Jamaica Labour Party, has pulled out all stops to show respect to the tourist, but unfortunately, that same level of respect and eerie behaviour that is shown to our visitors is not displayed to our fellow Jamaicans for the most part. Minister Bartlett needs to talk to his Prime Minister with a similar sense of urgency, insisting that it is time to revisit the values and attitudes, character, education, vision that both Patterson and Siaga envisioned. All right. Anyway, guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube, subscribe, give me one of those lines, and you can follow me on Instagram.